A very good evening to all my dear students. I welcome you to this new session, new class, with a very happy new year to all of you. Wishing you a wonderful new year 2025. May God bless each one of you and may all your wishes come true in this beautiful new year 2025. A very good evening and a very happy new year to all my dear students. So, good evening, Ritika Gupta. Mahi, thank you so much for wonderful wishes. Sanya, Balesh, Hardik, good evening, children. Anjali, Pallavi, Manvi, Nanda Goel, all of you, Neeru, Pooja, welcome to the class, all of you, Lahari, Moraju. And Tambeshwari has also come up with a doubt. I will definitely take that as well. Supriya, good evening, child. Yeshavini, good. So I'm glad to read all those who have written that, ma'am, yes, we have revised the chapter of audit also. That's absolutely great. So Tambeshwari has a doubt for us. She says if branch office is outside India and auditor has done default in audit report, then which country rule will be applicable for penalty? So section 147, which talks about penalty, child, that is the common section. If you make any default in section 139 to 146, the same penalty will be applicable as given under section 147. All right. Provided if the auditor is not the company auditor, he's the auditor who is appointed as per the rules of the country in which the branch is located, then as per that rule also, whatever is applicable will become applicable to that defaulting auditor as well. But as far as your chapter is concerned, section 147 penalty will be applicable. All right, good evening, Supriya, Pooja, Prakriti, Pooja, all those who have just joined the class now, Yashaswini, all of you, welcome to the class. And I hope you all are geared up for the new session today. And we are going to start up a new chapter. Can anyone tell me what is the name of the chapter that we're going to start up with today? Let me hear the name of chapter from all my dear students. What is the name of the chapter that we are going to start off? Yes, Hardik says foreign company. So is it foreign company, chapter 11 or something else? What is the name of the chapter? Yes, Lahari Moruju, absolutely correct. Pallavi, good. Manvi, Ritika, Dilip. So the name of the chapter is Companies Incorporated Outside India. Gurminder Kaur, nice. So when the company is incorporated outside India, how does it become foreign company? That is what we are going to discuss in today's session. So this session is divided into two classes, children. We'll try to do as many questions as possible. Good evening, Miss Nancy Hingu and all the students who have joined on the portal as well. Welcome to the class. Yes, I was telling you, we'll try to do maximum questions so that your conceptual clarity of this chapter is very much clear to you. So children, till now, what we have been doing is we have been doing the overall Companies Act 2013, in which we have done major part till chapter number 10. So preliminary chapter talks about the basic definitions, which is a very important chapter. You should not miss it out. You have to do those definitions and also the important definitions which I have done with you related to the question answer rounds like financial year, which has number of things in which you can club it with a small company's definition when we saw that the financial statements exemption was given to few of them. So all those definitions of preliminary chapter are very, very important. The other one are very easiest for you because you have done the holding, subsidiary, associate companies, all these parts you have done in the CA foundation class also. So after that, incorporation of company, you have studied in detail. Then you did prospectus, share capital, all these chapters, these were covered under the part of Companies Act 2013. So you know that major part of CA inter syllabus is going to be covered from this Companies Act. But there were certain huge chapters like management and administration, which is very, very huge. Then we did accounts of companies and audit, which we have recently completed in the month of December. Accounts was also very, very huge, but audit, I believe, it is little lesser as compared to accounts of companies. So I always tell my students chapters like deposits, registration of charges, audit, share capital and prospectus are again related chapters, and preliminary should always be on your tips because these chapters are little smaller as compared to incorporation of company and MGT and accounts of companies. So even if you try to leave anything anywhere in the chapters, make sure that you don't leave a single thing when you talk about other corporate laws. So when these chapters we come and talk about LLP, foreign company, FEMA, these are very exclusive chapters in itself. So today what we're going to start is companies incorporated outside India. In 2 sessions, we'll be completing this chapter. So it's a very small chapter. It has a lot of information, but then you should not leave a single thing. Are you understanding what I'm trying to tell you? I'm trying to tell you that if suppose incorporation of company I'm studying. So I thought maybe some of the things, if I'm not remembering, I can leave this. Otherwise, you're not supposed to leave anything. But these tiny chapters, you should not leave a single thing. Okay, because if you're trying to cover yourself in a choice that, okay, fine, out of Companies Act, I have left little part. I know I'll be covering it in other sections and other chapters. Then general clauses, interpretation of statutes, LLP, foreign companies, and FEMA should be totally in your tips so that you are very well covered in the choice questions. All right. So I could not see any more queries. Somebody has asked a question related to section 140 also. So Mahi, if you can remind me at the end of the session, we will take up this query related to section 140. I will take you where we have discussed about the resignation and removal of auditor. Basically, you're asking about the SR point. It is the special notice point. I think you're getting confused with the special notice. So the same special notice that you have started under section 115 applies to this section also, wherein you have to send the notice as per the requirements of that voting power and paid up share capital limits that you have done under special notice. All right. Cost audit query also. Okay. So just remind me in between, because today we'll be starting a new chapter. So in between, after the break, or maybe around 8:15, when we are just closing the session, just remind me, Hardik, related to this cost audit query also. I think 10.53 page number that you have mentioned, right? All right. See, I remember what you said in the previous class. Yeah, right. So just remind me, we'll take up that query as well. So apart from that, I hope everyone have studied the audit chapter very nicely. You have learned it. And now let's start the new chapter, that is companies incorporated outside India. So I was telling you, this is a very, very basic chapter and it's very, very interesting. What I call is more like a practical chapter in which you try to understand through different definitions, through different conceptual clarity, we try to do number of questions also. So company incorporated outside India. Have you heard this word anywhere else? So when I was talking about chapter number 1 preliminary, you must be remembering a definition that we did under section 2, clause 11, if I'm not wrong. Can anyone tell me what is written under section 2, clause 11? What is the definition? Very good. Oh my God, look at these kids. Tambeshwari, that is foreign companies definition. So section 2, clause 11 is body corporate. Hardik, Dilip, Mahi, Manvi, all of you. So nice. So you can recall it. Section 2, clause 11, what you have read about that, that is a body corporate which says it includes the company incorporated in India and also includes any company incorporated outside India. And when we were discussing this topic, I told you, you can write down over here that it is a foreign company, but I did not tell you how it become a foreign company. Yes, Rashmi, absolutely correct. So when there is a body corporate, it includes a company which is formed under an Indian company, which is regulated and formed under the Companies Act 2013. But it also includes a company incorporated outside India. So today we are going to understand that any company which has been formed outside India, say for example, you have formed a company in London, how Companies Act 2013 becomes applicable to it. So you all know that any company, whether it is formed in India or outside India, it is a body corp. That is the definition of the term body corp. But how this company, which is formed somewhere outside in India, in USA or London or in Japan or Singapore, how our Companies Act 2013 becomes applicable to it when it is covered under the definition of section 2, clause 42. That is, what is a foreign company? So section 2, clause 42 is very, very important. It's very wide and number of questions from this chapter come related to section 2, clause 42 or majorly from section 380. Other sections are also equally important, but these are the two major sections out of which questions have been coming in the exam as well. So today we are going to discuss the applicability of Act to Foreign Companies, section 379. We'll be discussing in detail definition of foreign companies, that is section 2, clause 42. I have different practical questions I have written out for you, which I'll be asking you in the class, and I would request you all to write those examples in your notebooks also, so that you don't forget what we have discussed. After that, section 380, the documents which are to be delivered to the ROC. Section 381 talks about accounts of companies. Have you studied anything in Companies Act related to this word accounts? Of course, ma'am. Chapter number 9 we did with you. That was accounts of companies. So whatever we have studied in the chapter number 9, accounts of companies, and chapter number 10, audit and auditors, is mutatis mutandis applicable to foreign companies also. So whatever we have been studying in all these past days in chapter number 9, 10 is as it is. Although this act says that it is a very small chapter, only section 380, 381, 387, 389 is applicable. But it includes all of the chapter 9 and 10, all of your chapter number 3. What was chapter number 3 of Companies Act? Yes, tell me. PAS forms you have done over there. What was chapter number 3? Prospectus and allotment of securities. Don't forget the allotment of securities. That is also very important. Okay. So whole of the prospectus and allotment, how the prospectus has to be dated, how the registration has been done. So I basically call this chapter as a revision of what you have done in your previous classes. The only thing is section 380 includes certain important documents which you have not studied in the way of incorporation, because there you have studied in detail about how the registered office changes when the clause passed, when the name clause is there, how the changes happen. That is little different. But here 380 tells you what is the documentation to be filed when you open up any foreign company. All right. So let's start the first major topic, that is section 2, clause 42. So I was telling you that section 2, clause 11 defines a body corporate. So body corporate is a wider term. Body corporate is a wider term which includes any company which is set up in India, any company which is set up in USA, and any company which is set up in USA and also it's a foreign company. So it is a wider term. So foreign company comes under the purview of body corporate. It says it's a company or a body corporate. It is not necessary that every body corporate is going to be a foreign company. Okay, I will explain you the difference in a while, but first we have to understand the definition of foreign company. So foreign company means any company or body corporate. Now you understand what is body corporate, because section 2, clause 11, we have already done what is body corporate, which is incorporated outside India. Let's assume that this company is formed outside India in US. And it has the place of business in India. Very important point. You are incorporated outside India, but you have a place of business in India. Either it's a physical place, it's by itself means physically I have opened up an office. So you are a company ABC Limited, and you have been incorporated means you have been formed in USA, right? And you opened up an office in Pune in India. Either by yourself you have opened up this office, or you have not come to India, your agent is working on your behalf, either physically or electronic mode. So one is you open up an office or your agent open up the office. Neither of you came electronically. How are we operating electronically? Can anyone give me any idea, any company which is outside India and it is operating electronically? Yesterday it was New Year night. Many of you were glued to the screen watching Netflix, movies, Amazon, Flipkart, your shoppings, everything. What is this? This is the electronic mode in which the company incorporated outside India is having the presence in India. Yes, Flipkart and Amazon, very good. Rashmi, Dilip, all of you, Preeti Kumari, all those who have given the correct answers. Cloud like Amazon, Hardik, correct. So, e-commerce operators, yes, Sun and Army, absolutely correct. So, e-mode, electronic mode in which you are operating in India. So all these companies, yes, correct, Supriya, which are not actually coming to India, but whatever your all these channels, Netflix, Hotstar, which is coming, streaming on your TV, television, and a click of button, you're ordering the things from Amazon and other sites. Okay. Yes, Decathlon has physically established by agent, so it becomes a foreign company, Preeti Kumari. Once you have come to India, so that is what we're understanding. So either physically you come to India, you are formed outside India, but either physically you come to India, or through an agent you have come to India, or through electronic mode if you're having any presence in India, and you conduct business activity in India. Not just opening up an office, you have to do certain business also. So this and is very important, but actually this and can also be or. So when you learn about general clauses, the doctrine of exceptional construction, you will understand that at times interpretation of law have to make an understanding that where the word and is used, then it becomes mandatory. But if I use the word or, then either of the things is happening, then also it becomes a foreign company. Now, how will this happen, ma'am? Let me take up an example for all of you. So you set up a company, you formed a company in USA and you opened up in Pune. Do I become a foreign company? Yes or no? I incorporated the company in USA and I came up and opened up an office in Pune. Do I become a foreign company? Yes, ma'am. Absolutely correct. I do not came to India. Electronically, I'm having a presence. Means through electronic modes, I'm supplying goods. Do I become a foreign company? Yes. Very good, Lahari Moruju. Yes, we are doing business in India. It becomes a foreign company. So here, when it talks about electronic mode, you have not come, but you're doing business activity in India. So that's why the word or has to be and has to be understood as or. Because, say, for example, I'm a company ABC Limited, which is set up in London. But I said, I'm not going to come in India, but anyone sends me a call or they tell me that you have to supply the orders. So I take orders from India and I supply them goods. So what am I doing? Am I falling under clause A or I'm falling under clause B? I'm not having any place of business in India. So some of you can say, ma'am, it is an electronic mode. Some of you will say that you're doing business activity. So clause B is absolutely correct. Although I'm not in India, but even if I'm doing any business active in India, I will be considered as a foreign company. So you have to pay lots and lots of attention to these kind of terms because examiner is going to ask you n number of questions we are going to practice today कि company बाहर है India में है क्या हो रहा है कैसे foreign company yes or no and it will be involved on the basis of these 3 points only. Company formed outside India, having a place of business in India, company formed outside India, having a place of business in India, and doing any business activity in India. So if I'm having a place of business in Pune and I'm not doing any business activity in India, I have just opened up an office, then do I become a foreign company? Yes or no? Then do I become a foreign company? Yes or no? So why the answer is no? Somebody saying yes, somebody saying no. So what is the confusion? You're just having a business office. You're not doing any business activity. Then you will not become. So that's why I said that at times you will have to read it as and sometimes also business activity becomes mandatory to be done. So I've opened up an office. I'm not doing any business activity. Then I do not. Then this word and has to be read as and. But if you have not opened up any office, but you're still taking the orders and you're supplying the goods in India, that means you have certain connection in India. So then you become a foreign company. All right. Okay. So now what we have to understood is the meaning of e-mode. So here a word which has been used that the company is going to have the electronic mode also as the presence. What is the meaning of this electronic mode? That is what we're going to understand. So companies registration of foreign companies rules 2014. So remember children, I told you when the entire Companies Act was replaced in 1956 was replaced by Companies Act. 2013. So the number of sections have reduced, say around till 400 to 480 sections we have overall in Companies Act 2013. But the major part of the sections, which were earlier around 6 to 700 sections, now the major part has gone and covered as a part of rules. So we have every chapter has these specific rules in which the procedure and specific definitions and explanations related to topic is given. So, Hardik, the answer was no, because you have just opened up a place of business. You're not doing any business activity, then you'll not be a foreign company. So, there the word and has to be read mandatorily. Okay? आपको business activity करना पड़ेगा, then only you're a foreign company, not by just opening an office. I've hired an agent, but I've not yet started any work. You have a place of business in India and you do a business activity, then only you become a foreign company. So, companies rules 2014 electronic mode means carrying out electronically based, whether main server is in India or not. Please mark this line, very, very important. So, if I have opened up a company in USA and main server is in India, now electronic mode, why it is talking about server? Because in IT and electronically, what you're going to do is you're going to operate through different servers. That is your softwares and systems, how you're going to operate. Now, at times, this server might be in India or it might be in US only. So it says you don't have to worry whether it is in, we are assuming that the company is formed in USA. Whether the server is in USA or it is in India, it does not matter. But if you're doing any B2B or B2C transactions, what is the meaning of business to business and business to consumer transactions? So number one, electronic mode transaction is B2B transaction. So I am a manufacturer who manufactures big branded shoes. And I'm a wholesaler manufacturer and I sell it to the wholesalers and they further sell it to retailers. So what is this kind of business to business transactions when a manufacturer is selling to the wholesalers? So I'm doing business with a business team. Why? Because the wholesaler is further going to sell it to the retailers. So what kind of transactions it is? A business to business transactions. So you have opened up an electronic mode business. Your main server is in USA, but you are selling your products directly to the business people over here. Manufacturers to suppliers, absolutely correct. Vendors to vendors. Very good, Supriya, Rashmi, Ritika. Excellent. Pallavi, very nice. Raw material supplied and sold. Very good. That is business to business. And when a retailer sells directly to consumers, so your Amazon comes into picture. So you ordered it, some things, you ordered the products which are lying in USA, but they will be delivering it to you at a doorstep. So are they physically coming to India and delivering to you? No, ma'am, they're not physically coming. They're doing business activity in India, but they're doing it through electronic mode. All right, they're doing it through electronic mode. So business to business transactions and business to consumer transactions will be considered as the foreign company. After that, data interchange transactions and digital supply transactions. Again, your digital supply is your internet network supplying transactions, your Netflix, Hotstars, whatever is being displayed on your televisions. So this is a data interchange which is happening. So all these kind of transactions are considered to be electronic mode. Okay. After that, second part is accepting deposits or inviting deposits or subscriptions in India or from citizens of India. Are you remembering something related to your subscription securities? When you issue prospectus, you're inviting people to invest in your companies. Now you are not, you are doing it directly for your company, which is incorporated outside India, and you're accepting the deposits, inviting the subscriptions for the securities from Indian citizens. So can we say that you become a foreign company or not? If you accept any deposits, yes, you become a foreign company. Why? Because you're accepting deposits from citizens of India. So number one is business to business or business. You have to learn all this. So today you're going to understand each and every line and word with me. We will, after this definition, we will be going to the study material and then you will be doing n number of questions with me related to this topic only because we have to learn it today only. So business to business transactions, business to consumer transactions, data interchange and supply transactions, digital supply transactions. Four things in the first point. Data se related. बिजनेस बिजनेस, बिजनेस टू कंज्यूमर, B2B, B2C, इजी हो गया. डेटा से रिलेटेड क्या क्या है? डेटा इंटरचेंज इज हैपनिंग एंड डिजिटल सप्लाई ट्रांजेक्शन इज हैपनिंग. अगेन योर नेटफ्लिक्स एंड हॉटस्टार. Accepting deposits or inviting deposits from India or from the citizens of India. Moving to the third point, financial settlements. So financial settlements means where you have set up some kind of organizations or companies which are taking out, helping you to take money from your other parties. So some financial settlement was to be done and you have hired a person who is going to get the money for you. So all these kind of financial settlements, if you're doing it through electronic. Web-based marketing, your Google comes into picture. So many advertisements, you're doing web-based marketing, you're trying to do. Through internet, you're marketing your products in India. Advisory and transactional services, any kind of advisory you're giving and doing transactions in India, then also it will be considered as uh, mandatory to do it. Preeti Kumari has written, ma'am, New Year resolution is we have to learn today. It's yes, definitely. So this reminds me, I have to ask you your New Year resolutions also that you told me in the last class, right? Definitely, I will. I'm going to ask all of you. Abhishek Mishra, last point again. So last point was deposits when you're accepting from India. You're a company which is operating outside India and USA, but you have taken certain deposits from India. That means you have certain connection of the business activity in India. You're issuing the prospectus and inviting the subscriptions or securities for the shares. Remember section 41 when we have done about the global depository receipts. In the last part of this chapter, again, we will be discussing about the ADRs and GDRs. So there you will understand how this connection of foreign companies happening for the deposits and securities. Okay, okay. Yes, yes, Ritika Gupta, that will also be outsourcing, will also be covered under the advisory and transactional services. That is fine. Yes, Supriya, it is a correct example. You can take it in that way as well. So database services and products and supply chain management. So third one again has 4 points. Free financial settlements that you're doing, web-based marketing, your Google, you can remember, advisory and transactional services, database services and supply chain management. So 5 things you have to learn for the third point. After that, it's very interesting. Online services. Online services means telemarketing. What is the word tele means? Tele means I'm calling you. So I am a company which is formed in London and I want to sell my products in India. So I've opened up call centers like you say BPOs and KPOs which are operating and they're doing a telecalling in India and they're telling them that we have these products, we would like to sell it to you. Do you want to buy? So I'm getting customers from India, not having any physical presence in India, but I'm doing it through the electronic. So that is your telemarketing. Telecomputing, your cloud computing. Telemedicine. Sometimes what happen nowadays, even you must have seen in your places and cities and states where you're living, during COVID days, you must have noticed that the doctors, when they were not physically looking at you, like the general physicians or for many minor things like a skin problem, if a doctor is traveling, they will ask you that this is my Google Pay details. You can just give me my money and you can send the pictures of whatever the problem is happening and I will give you a consultancy on phone only. Have you listened or faced any kind of these kind of things? So that is your telemedicine. You're not physically going and meeting the doctors. You're not even looking at them. You're just doing it through the electronic modes, the things that happen. So within our own city or country and state also, we must have experienced it. So if you're doing it from outside, from abroad, then also it becomes a foreign company. So telemedicine is providing, telecomputing they're doing. Any kind of education that you're getting. So here I am sitting and giving you education online, which is giving within India. So if you have the same teachers who are sitting abroad and you're getting any Zoom sessions through that, like Udemy and other apps that were coming up earlier. So any education supply which is happening in India, which is happening from a place which is outside India, the company that they have formed it outside India, then also it will be considered as a foreign company. The regulations of section 380, 387 will become applicable to them. Information research. So all these fourth point is related to online services, telemarketing, telecomputing, telemedicine. Three are related to tele, education and information research because education is related to research. So information and education research. and all related data communication services. Your artificial intelligence AI is coming up. So much of the data communication services are happening. So whatever you try to do through data communication services, that will be considered. Yes, absolutely, Ritika Gupta. So all these, any kind of social media transactions that you're doing through, even through any kind of media, if you're having, this is a data communication services, whether conducted by emails, mobiles, social media, cloud computing, or voice or data transmission, document management, whatever way you're doing, if you're having any kind of transactions electronically present in India, then it is known as foreign companies present. So let me ask you a question. I am a company which is formed in London. So I am a company ABC Limited, incorporated in London, and I provide cloud computing services to consumers in India. Can you say ABC Limited is a foreign company? Yes, ma'am, or no, ma'am? Will it be considered as a company, a foreign company, or it is an Indian company? What kind of company? Yes, it will be considered as a foreign company because it is. Now, how will you answer it in the exam? So, foreign company's definition, you will write section 2, clause 42. It says that any company having incorporated outside India and having a physical activity through an agent, having a place of business in India, or if it is doing any business activity through e-modes. So through electronic modes, there is a definition of electronic modes given. You will write these 5 items. Since one of the items says that cloud computing is part of your, will be considered as if you're doing the business in India. Therefore, since it is providing cloud computing services, therefore it will be held that ABC Limited is a foreign company. Very good, very good. Many of you have written the answer in this way. Yes, Nancy, Lahari Moruju, Prakriti, Kasak Yadav, Neeru Rashmi, Preeti Kumari, Pooja. All of you have given the correct answers. Dileep, Gurminder, all of you. Good. Mahi, Sukhveer, nice. Okay. Yes, yes, Pallavi Jha, that's absolutely correct. Now it says for the purpose of this clause, electronic mode based servicing, subscription, or listing of the securities in international financial service sectors which are set up under special economic zones will not be considered as electronic. So if you have heard about IFSC sectors, so there are certain sectors which are set up under SEZ units. So special economic zones, when you will study income tax in detail, you must be studying in group 1 also, you have income tax. So we give a reference to SEZ unit. So many exemptions are given to the special economic zone units. So many times it is considered that if you're doing the listing of securities or operating any activities in the IFSC sectors, so that is international financial service centers, which are considered to be part of outside India only. So you are doing an activity from outside India to this center, which is already located outside India only for us. So it will not be covered under the section 2 clause 40. Means you are a company which is formed in USA and you provide this kind of telemarketing services to IFSC center. Will you be considered as a foreign company? Yes or no? No, ma'am. Why? Because it is set up under Special Economic Zones Act and exemption has been given. So if you're providing any services to the international financial service centers, they will not be considered as foreign. All right. Yes, Anil Almi, that means you have learned well about SEZ units also. Too many relaxations and exemptions are given to SEZ units. Good. Dilip, Pooja, Abhishek Mishra, absolutely correct. Rashmi, Preeti, all of you. Okay. So now, before we move to the applicability of foreign companies, let me just take you to the module also. Any doubts so far? I hope you're understanding. I'm trying to go as slow as possible so that you don't miss out a single thing. Open up the presentation only. All right. So here is your foreign company having a place of business, conducting business activities. So example number one, ABC Entertainment, Indian company having a foreign subsidiary, UVW Limited. It is rendering satellite services to the group. Will it be covered under the definition of foreign company? Why are you covering it under the definition of foreign company? Can anyone tell me? In example number one, they have said that they are rendering satellite services. So you are a foreign company. You're having a subsidiary in India. So you are operating in India. It is an Indian company. It is having a foreign subsidiary. Since you're doing the electronic mode kind of business, so it will be considered as the definition of foreign company. And also you have set up the business in India as well. Very good. Place of businesses in India. Good. Airline companies who operate through their booking agents will be covered. So there is an airline company which is formed in Australia, but they take the bookings through different agents who are working in India. So they have opened up an office in India where their agents are taking up the bookings in India. Will you call it a foreign company? Yes or no? Why are they calling it? Because agent is covered under the definition of foreign company. So clause A is being covered. In both these cases, they have talked about clause A. So here they are talking about the electronic mode, business to business, business to consumer. So if I'm a company in Australia and I'm selling to the business owners in India. So I am a brand with the Skechers. I'm manufacturing outside India also, and I just sell it to the shopkeepers over here. So then also they will be considered as my foreign companies. If I, for example, I have taken the name of Skechers, you can assume any other example. But yes, if you're doing the business with business people also, B2B will be covered in foreign company. Absolutely correct. Okay. So this is IFSC I have told you. Zapak, Zakpak Limited is a shipping company which is incorporated in Japan. Now they have started giving interesting information. So the company is incorporated in Japan. Company has set up a branch office in India after taking the necessary approvals from RBI. This is what we are going to cover under the point of Section 3A. Branch offices are considered as a reflection of the parent's office. Branch office incorporated outside India are covered as a place of business for conducting business activity and will require to follow. So if you have set up a branch office, it's anyways a foreign company. The Section 2 Clause 42 is applicable. Is that clear? He's saying that if you have anyways, you have written the word that you have set up a branch office in India. So company incorporated outside India having a place of India is branch office is always covered. Okay. All right. 320 foreign companies were registered in India between 2018 and 2021. So this is a fact that they have shared with you. Union Ministry of State for Corporate Affairs, Sri Rao Inderjeet Singh has given a reply in Rajya Sabha that how many companies? 320 foreign companies. Within 3 years only they have come up. So see how global presence we are having. So applicability of this act to foreign companies, section 380 to 386 is applicable to all the foreign companies which are set up in India, which are having their definition, which are falling under the definition means you're having any place of business in India, section 380 to 386 will be applicable. Section 379 only tells you two things. One is that section 380 to 386 is applicable. Second is very, very important thing that it tells you. It says we are not less than 50% of the paid up share capital, whether equity or preference. Let me show it to you from my notes. So section 379, second clause talks about this thing that where the requirement of paid up share capital is we're not less than 50% of the paid up share capital, equity as well as preference or partly both of them of a foreign company outside India. So it is a foreign company outside India, ABC Limited, and 50% of the shareholding is held by either one or more Indian citizens. So let's name it Mohan. Mohan is an Indian citizen who is holding 50% of the share of this ABC Limited. Or one or more companies or body corporates incorporated in India. So let's assume this is ABC LLC. LLC is a company which is formed outside India. And there is a company inside India, XYZ Limited. This company is holding more than 50% of the shares of this company. Or Mohan or XYZ Limited are together holding, whether singly or in aggregate, means together or singly they're holding. Then such foreign company will have to comply with the provisions of Chapter 22 and other provisions of this Act as may be regard to the business carried on by India as if it were a company incorporated in India. It says if you are a foreign company and 50% of your shareholding is being held by whom? Number one, Indian citizen is holding. Number two, or Indian company. Company incorporated in India means जो India की company बनी हुई है. Or by Indian citizen or Indian company together or in aggregate or singly. Then whatever company that you have, now you are a foreign company. So you have a company which has a place of business in India. When you are incorporated in USA, you had a place of business in India. So now this company which is having a place of business in India, for that company, for all the business which is being carried on in India, it will be treated as if you are a company. It is incorporated within India only. And all the provisions of Companies Act 2013 will become applicable to them. So if you're any foreign company in which 50% of the shareholding is being held by Indian citizens, so there is a Mohan who is holding 50% of the Indian citizen is there. Or Indian company is holding your 50% of the shareholding, or both of them are together holding, then for the respective business place that you're having in India, for that company, you will be considered as if you're a company incorporated in India, and all the provisions of this chapter will become applicable to them as if it was for an Indian company. All right. So with regard to that, let us just read the points from here also. So Chapter 22 deals with the legal provisions of the companies outside India. So whatever provisions are applicable. So it says, although the provisions of that applicability is there, but with regard to the business carried on by India, it will be you will be treated as if you are a company incorporated outside inside India. So the shareholding of MR Company LLC, which is incorporated in Dubai, it's already covered in first and second point for 5. Yes, Preeti Kumari, which one are you asking? Are you talking about this point? So the shareholding of MR Company LLC incorporated in Dubai is having a place of business in India. So there is a company, MR Company LLC. First tell me if it is incorporated outside India, that is in Dubai, and it is having a place of business in India. Is it a foreign company? Yes, ma'am, it is a foreign company because it is formed in Dubai and it is having a place of business in India. So it is a foreign company. Now, how the shareholding is being held? Hinduja Company Limited, which is an Indian company, is holding how much share? 26%. How much here? 26%. Another Vishali Indian company is holding 25%. So how much is 26 plus 25? 51% shareholding is in the hands of Indian companies, right? And rest of the shareholding is in the citizens of Dubai. So if more than 50% of the shares with this company will be required to comply with the provisions of Chapter 22, as not less than 50% of the holding consists of body corporates, which is incorporated in India. It will also require to comply with the provisions of this act because it will be treated as if it is a company which is incorporated within India. So this is the only provision that you have to remember, that if 50% of the shareholding is being held, then why again third one it is said single or aggregate? So that is what it tries to give you a clarity, Preeti Kumari, that whether you're holding together or even individually. So it says when one or more citizens and the companies and body corporates are holding. So here the word and is used. Together you are holding. So either singly, so this is the meaning of this above point, whether singly you're holding or in the aggregate, such foreign company will comply with the rules. So this is the line that you have to learn as it is, because 3 marks question can come related to this, like they have given example number 4. Then what to write? You cannot simply write then, okay, you will be treated as a company incorporated in India. You have to write something for that. For 3 marks, you have to learn this. So such foreign company will comply with the provisions of chapter number and other provisions as prescribed with regard to the business carried on. So basically हिंदी में इसका मतलब है कि जो भी आप business इंडिया में कर रहे हो ना, उस चीज के लिए आपको एक इंडियन कंपनी माना जाए. With regard to the business that you're doing in India, you will be treated as if you are a company which has been formed in India only. Is that clear, all of you? Now let's quickly do certain questions that I want to do with you. So keep writing it down. The first example number 1 that we are going to do is There is a company which is incorporated in USA. There is a company which is incorporated in USA. It does not have any physical place of business in India. There is a company which is formed in USA. It does not have any physical place of business in India, but it has been taking business in India through telemarketing. It has been doing business in India through telemarketing. Can we say it is a foreign company? Can we say it is a foreign company? Now, what are the principles to be applied? So you will say, first point, is it a company which is incorporated outside India? Answer me this. Is it a company which is incorporated outside India? Yes, ma'am, it is a company incorporated outside India. Absolutely correct. Is it having any place of business in India? It is having a place of business in India through e-mode. And the third point you have to check is it doing any business activity in India? What is the answer for the third one? Yes, ma'am, because telemarketing, he is calling them, he's doing marketing of its products, he is taking the orders, and he's also supplying. So, yes, it is doing the business activity in India. So, number one, it is a company incorporated outside India. Yes, it is a company, and it is having a place of business because if you go to the definition, it has given 5 points under E mode, it falls under one of them, and it is doing a business activity in India. So, yes, it is a foreign company. Is that clear? Now, even if the company is not doing any business in India and it is having a share transfer or share registration office in India, then also it is considered to be a foreign company. So write down example number 2. So what is the meaning of share transfer office? Earlier, now the shares are being transferred with the help of online transactions you can do for transferring of shares. So earlier you had to physically go to the offices and you had to transfer the shares. So write down example number 2, a company which is formed in Singapore. A company was incorporated in Singapore and has a share transfer office in Delhi. It has a share transfer office in Delhi. So company is incorporated outside India. That is absolutely correct. Second, can you say that it is a foreign company? If 50% criteria is not Sanya, if 50% criteria is not covered under that point of section 379, then that provision, you will say that normal provisions which are applicable to foreign companies only applicable. For that respective provision, chapter 22 provisions as well as the things which are applicable to Indian company will become applicable. Yes, ma'am, it is a foreign company because the share office is in Delhi. Absolutely correct. So how are you going to write down? Having a share transfer office in India will be considered to be a having a share transfer office in India, it will be considered that the company is doing a business activity in India. It will be considered that the company is doing a business activity in India. Therefore, it is covered under the definition of Section 2, Clause 42. Hence, a foreign company. Hence, it is a foreign company. So it is written somewhere. You can just locate it later on. It is written clearly when you have the share transfer office and share registration office in India. All right. You want to do one more example or it's clear to you? Okay, write down one more. So if you're a company incorporated in USA, okay, this is interesting. A company is incorporated in USA and it is doing a cloud computing services for Indian companies. However, the main server of company is in USA. Will it be considered as foreign company or not? Apurv is the first one to say no, ma'am. Supriya, Rashmi, Abhishek, Ritika says yes, ma'am. Can you give me the reason? Anjali, Hardik, everybody says yes, ma'am. Good. Because, ma'am, Saba, Shagil is saying, ma'am, repeat. Mahi says yes, ma'am. Okay, good. So, Saba, Shakil, I said a company is incorporated in USA and is providing cloud computing business for India. However, the main server is in USA. Very good, very good. Since it is doing the business through e-mode, it will be considered as foreign company. You will have to write this line in the exam. Here, whether the server is in India or not does not matter. Please write down the answer here. Whether the server is in India or not, it does not matter. Since it is doing online mode business in India, since it is doing online mode business in India, therefore, yes, it is a foreign company. Therefore, yes, it is a foreign company. You want to do one more example or it's clear? Because many of you have still got confused. You were asking, ma'am, why the question, what is that? Why the server thing has come up? It's clear. Good. Okay. So one last question for all of you. There is a company, EQ Limited, which is incorporated in Japan. It has hired an agent in Pune to sell the clothes that are being manufactured by EQ in Japan. Will it be considered as a foreign company? Yes or no? Very good. Very good. Those who have written yes. Anil Army is saying no, ma'am. Why no, Anil? Everybody else has given the correct answer. Yes, you can say it business to consumers. You don't even have to go to the electronic mode. Why going to B2B and B2C? Many of you are writing this because yes, Nahari Marujo, absolutely correct because it has an agent in Pune. The first definition, part of the definition, it is being covered. So yes, it is a company incorporated outside India doing business in India through agent. Since the place of business is in India and business activity is in India, that's why it is said to be a foreign company. Okay, the last question. Let me see how many of you give this correct. There is an Indian citizen, Mr. Ram, who went to Singapore and he opened up a business in Singapore. Can we call the business and company that he opened up in Singapore is a foreign company? Again, no, yes is coming. So those who have said yes, can you give me the reasons? And excellent for those who have said no. Why? Because I just tried to confuse you. I said he's an Indian citizen. There is no question related to, no, Preeti Kumari, this is not about 50% shareholding. I said there's an Indian citizen, Mr. Ram. He went to Singapore. He opened up a company in Singapore. He's doing business in Singapore. What do you have to see for having a foreign company? Foreign company, you have to see place of business in India and a business activity in India. Since it is a company incorporated in Singapore, business is being done in Singapore. There is no place of business in India. There is no business activity in India. Therefore, this company will be considered as uh, not a foreign company. Okay. So this will not be considered as foreign company. So Ritika Gupta, it is open in Singapore. So it is a body corporate, but it is not a foreign company. That is the difference that I explained to you when I started with this chapter. So it has no relation with business activity in India. It is not covered under the definition of Section 2, Clause 40. Okay. No matter whether the citizen of India or not. Very good, Rashmi. So it's absolutely a company which is incorporated outside India. Okay, good. Yes, it does not matter whether, like, so to learn things you have to learn whether the main server is in India or not, that does not matter. Whether Indian citizen or not, anybody is opening. If it is having a place of business in India and you're doing the business activity in India, then only you're considered to be a um, foreign company. I have two, three more questions. Now I'm not going to ask you. I'll ask you in between because you've just done so fresh with me right now. So obviously you will give correct answers. But after you have little forgotten about what we have done, then I'll ask you the second questions. So let's take a small break over here. And after that, we'll be starting with section number 380. Let's take a small break. All right, welcome back, students. Okay, I can see the doubts also. But before that, let me ask you one very interesting question. Welcome back, all of you, to the class. So, there is a foreign citizen, Mr. John, who has come to India in 2023. He incorporated a company in India on 1st July 2023. Can we say that it is a foreign company? US citizen Mr. John has come to India and he has formed a company in India. Excellent, Hardik. It will be an Indian company. It does not matter who's. Neha says yes. No, everybody, those who have given no is the correct answer. Rashmi, Tambeshwari, Anjali, Sagar, all of you, good. Because it is a company incorporated in India. So examiner is going to confuse you with these kind of points. That's why I said I'll take a break and then I'm going to ask you questions so that I can also play with some confusion of your brain. So you have to be very much clear, children. What you have to see for a foreign company is company incorporated outside India. So the first, but that's why I made you write down in 3 points. Yes, incorporation matters, and also what matters is where is your place of business. If you're having now here, you will get confused. He's a US citizen, he's opening a business in India. So you will think that yes, it's a foreign company. No, it's not. So the first criteria you have to see it's a foreign in company incorporated outside India. Now listen to another question very carefully. So Ram formed a company outside India in Japan. He employed an agent in India, Mr. B in Pune, who is not doing any business activity as of now. So can we say that the company which Ram has formed in Japan, say ABC Limited, is it a foreign company? Why no? Because the agent is employed. But Balesh, you have said yes, no, no is the correct answer because Saba also says yes, no. Because here business activity is necessary. Very good, Supreet. Because it says you have a place of you incorporated outside India, yes, ma'am. You have a place of business in India and you conduct business activity. I'm specifically telling you that he has employed an agent but not having any business activity in India. So if you're not doing any business activity in India, you're not a foreign company. Another one very important point, which I want all of you to write down in your notes where you have written all these points, please write down one more additional point. If any business decisions are being taken up in India, say, for example, you're a company incorporated outside India, you're a company in USA. You're a company, ABC Limited, incorporated in USA. Let me write it down for all of you because then you keep thinking where it was written and you'll not find it anywhere. ABC Limited, incorporated in USA. But all business decisions are taken by management in India. Is it a foreign company? So it is a company incorporated in USA, but all the business decisions are taken, business decisions as well as all board meetings are also being held in India. Can we say it's a foreign company? No, poem rule does not apply. Yes, Hardik. So no is the correct answer. You're not doing any business activity in India. So having a place of management will not make you a foreign company. So rule number 1, company formed outside India. Yes, ma'am or no, ma'am? Yes, ma'am. Company formed outside India. Having a place of business in India. Yes, ma'am or no, ma'am? No, ma'am. No place of business in India. Doing, ये मैंने तभी आपको लिखवाया है, child. You have to write down these points. Doing business activity in India. Yes, ma'am or no, ma'am? Tell me. No, ma'am. So even if it is not given in the question, you will write down these assumptions to prove your point. So you will say only business meetings being held, only business meetings or management is in India and no place of business and business activity in India, then it is not a foreign company. Then it is not a foreign company. Is it clear to everyone? So you can write down in your notes, if you're just having the company which is taking business decisions in India, only the management is in India and the company is incorporated outside India, it will not be a foreign company. So all those who have given no is the correct answer. So let me read the doubts raised by Tambeshwari is asking, Indian citizen company incorporated in India is going to be holding the shares outside India. So Tambeshwari, that question was that there is an Indian citizen, Mr. Ram, he opened up a company in Singapore and he's doing business in Singapore only. So there also the shareholding one, it does not come into picture only because it's not a foreign company. So shareholding things comes into picture when it's a foreign company and the shareholding is being held by the Indian citizen. Okay, then you have to talk. It has to be a company incorporated outside India. And then, yes, if you're having more than 50% of the shareholding by the Indian citizen, then for that Indian business, it will be considered as if it is an Indian company. Now, can anyone tell me what is the difference between being an Indian company and a foreign company? What is the difference? So, when you are a company versus foreign company, what is the difference between both of them? So, when you are a company formed under Companies Act 2013, then whole of the Companies Act 2013 is applicable to you. All the schedules, rules, and sections 1 to section 480, 488, what is the maximum sections, everything is applicable to you when you're an Indian company, when you're incorporated in India. But when you're a foreign company, then only section 379 to 386 are applicable. This is the only difference between both of them are body corporates, because body corporates includes a company incorporated in India and outside India also. But when outside India has a place of business in India and does any business activity, then it becomes foreign company. And once you become foreign company, then section 379 tells you that section 380 to 386 are applicable if you're a foreign company. Lahari Maruju is asking, ma'am, what will we call this company? Is it a foreign company finally or a body corporate incorporated outside India where the Indian citizen incorporated company in Singapore? Okay, Lahari. So you're an Indian citizen. Mr. Ram, you formed a company in Singapore. But you do business in Singapore only. So it is just a body corporate, incorporated outside India, doing business over there. Whatever the rules and applications of Singapore government will be applicable to you. You are not a foreign company. Okay? Okay, that is correct, Pooja. So it is incorporated in India, but what is the major difference? That all the companies, yes, Pallavi Jha, that's correct. All the provisions of Companies Act will become applicable to them. Yes, it is foreign in respect to India means that all the provisions related to Companies Act 2013 are applicable to Indian companies, and for foreign companies, Lahari Maruji, section 380 to 386 is only applicable. You have to do your regulations and follow-ups as per the regulations of section 380 to 386. Now, since we have understood the difference between company and foreign companies, and we have done n number of questions also related to the definition under section 2, clause 42, I hope it is clear. Still, we'll do certain questions today at the end also related to section 380 and section 240, clause 42. Okay. So shareholding does not matter where are you holding the shares or who is the person who is having the opening, whether it is a US citizen or Indian citizen. What matters is where is the place of business, where the company is formed and where is the place of business. That is important. So if you're formed outside India and you have place of business in India and you do business activity in India, 3 points have to be seen. Then yes, you're a foreign company. And for those 3 points, if you're doing financial settlement, then are you a foreign company? You're incorporated outside India and you do financial settlement in India because it falls under E mode. If you do cloud computing, then are you a foreign company? Yes. It is E mode. If you do data supply, chain management, data interchange, all those points, you will be considered as foreign company. So once you have opened up a foreign company, say for example, there is a company, Netflix, who wants to open up the place of business in India, and they have said that we are going to open up our office in Pune. Anywhere, Bombay, Pune, Maharashtra, wherever you want to open up. So now they're coming to India. They are company incorporated outside India. They are coming to India. They're having the place of business in India. Although electronically also they were having it's a foreign company, but now they want to have a physical setup of place in Pune. So once any company which is coming to India for the first time, then within 30 days of establishing its place of business in India, it will have to file the documents with the ROC. So there is a list of 7 important documents which we are going to learn in the class today. What all documents the foreign company has to file. So point number 1 is within 30 days of having your place of business. So moment Netflix opens its office in Pune, within 30 days, it will have to uh, file these documents with ROC. Rashmi is asking foreign company and holding more than 51% of the by Indian and individual then companies. Yes, it's a foreign company and either of them. So you have written, ma'am, Indian company and individual both. So if Indian citizen is also holding or Indian company or both of them together holds more than 50%. Why are you writing 51? More than 50% is the word. 379 clause 2, 379. Then section 380, 386. They will also be applicable, Rashmi, but for the Indian company that you have formed, for this Indian, say, if I'm telling you that I'm setting up a company in USA and I'm having business in Pune. So for this Pune company, if your application of this shareholding are applying, then for this Pune company, all the provisions of Companies Act 2013 will become applicable to them. Okay, chapter 22 provisions, all the chapters will become applicable to them. 380 to 386 to है applicable because it's a foreign. Clear? Yes, Pooja, it means 50% and more. So number 1, what all documents foreign company has to file with the registrar 30 days, within 30 days of setting up the place of business. If, for example, on 1st January 2025, they set up the place of business. Now, within 30 days, so by 31st January, they need to file all these documents with ROC. Number 1, certified copy of the charter of the company, statutes of memorandum and articles in English language. So what is the meaning? Why have they written in English language? So you are a company which is incorporated in Russia. What is the meaning of charter document? In India, you have memorandum of association and articles. Can anyone tell me what is the meaning of memorandum and articles? Yes, Abhishek Mishra, both the things are important, not just the place of business. You have to have any business activity. That's why I told you that that point and has to be read as and or both ways. So if you are Abhishek Mishra, your point is very correct. If you are company in USA, you're not having place of business, but e-mode is being used, then also you are covered under foreign company. You're having a place of business and you're not doing any business activity, then you're not a foreign company. Okay. Yes, Tameshwari, these are public documents. It's very interesting. But what are these? These constitute, they tell about the laws of the company, constitution of the company. Okay, very good. So the certified copy of the charter of the company, like for Indian company, you have your MOA and AOA. For similarly, for the foreign company, whatever is the constitution document, that needs to be submitted with the ROC. And now if it is in Russian language, because your company is in Russia, you have opened up the office in Pune, so you have become a foreign company. So that's why you're filing the document. So this Russian language, a certified copy of the translation in English language has to be filed. It is very important to get it converted into English language because we don't understand Russian over here. No? So some people might, but ROC might not understand. So you have to submit a certified copy. So what is the meaning of certified? Later in the chapter, we'll discuss what is the meaning of certified. It has to be signed by on the affidavit, but the certified copy of English language has to be given. Second point is full address of the registered office. So your registered office is in Russia, you have to give the full office of the address. Address and list of directors and secretary of the company. Who all are the directors and secretary of the company? Their full address has to be given, the name and address of the persons, everything, all the details about all these persons, all the list of directors and secretary of the company has to be given. Name and address or the name and addresses of one or more person who is a resident in India. Now, this is very, very important point. Till now, we have not been speaking about any residential or citizenship, but here you need to have one person who is resident of India. So there is Mr. Ram who is staying in India for more than 182 days. He is a resident of India and he has been authorized person who will accept and receive any notices or documents on behalf of company. So you have to tell ROC that we have appointed as an, so you can write down fourth point is authorized person. What is the fourth point? Fourth point is authorized person. Yes, yes. These are the points with regard to the company having the office in India. Absolutely, Lahari Maruchu, that is absolutely correct. And all those that you have written for MOA, AOA is absolutely correct points, children. So if you have to tell about the authorized person, who is the authorized person? So I have appointed Mr. Ram, who is a person resident in India. So you have to inform ROC that this is the person who will be acting as the authorized person on behalf of my company. Now, whenever any department or income tax or court or ROC wants to send any notice or document, they will send it to Mr. Ram. So once the documents have been sent it to Mr. Ram, it will be assumed as if information has been given to the company. Why? Because he is acting as the authorized representative on behalf of the company. So you have to tell ROC what is the name and address of the authorized representative who will receive all the notices and other documents which are to be given to the company. So say, for example, the notice was sent to Mr. Ram and the company is in Russia. Can you say that the notice has been served to the Russian company? Yes or no? Yes. Okay, because it is duly served. Very good. Absolutely correct. After that, full address of the principal place of business in India. So, what business place in Pune that you have set up? You have to give the address of the Russian office also, the MOA documents also that you have come over here, list of directors and secretary, authorized person, and the principal place of business in India. So, how you have to learn is learn two addresses. One address is of registered office, then of the Pune office address. Third is your MOA AOA documents. Fourth is your authorized representative. Fifth is your all the directors and secretary of the company. Then particulars of opening and closing of place of business in India on earlier occasions. So are you opening this business place in Pune for the first time, or have you opened up office in Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore? Earlier also you were having. So you have to tell about all the place of business that you have in India. So say, for example, this Russian company is having 10 places of business in India. Earlier, it had two places. So whatever is the correct data in FC3 form, it will be coming ahead also in FC3 form. You have to tell in detail about the list of all the places of business in India. We'll understand FC3 form in section number 381. And the last point, seventh point is declaration has to be given that none of the directors or the authorized representative had been convicted or debarred with the formation and management of the company. So had you been, any case has been filed against you, or you have been convicted because of any offense, so you have to give a declaration that no offense has been done on our side and we are not debarred from giving any services related to formation and management of the company. So quickly write down what are the 7 list of things that you need to give. Yes, the branch details, Supriya, that's correct. So you all have to tell me under section 380, 7 important things have to be filed with the registrar within 30 days. First point is within 30 days of setting up the place of business in India. What all the documents? Number 1, you will write MOA, AOA of the company in English language. Number 2, address of the registered office. Number 3, address of the place of business in India. Number 4, address and name of the person who is going to act as an authorized representative. Number 5, opening and closing of all the place of business in India. Number 6, directors and secretary. And number 7, declaration that these people are not debarred or convicted from acting in the formation and management of company in India. Absolutely correct. All of you have written these points very nicely and beautifully. So now you will never forget them. Declaration is very, very important. Good. Nanda Goel, good. Pallavi Jha, Rashmi, Hardik, Preeti Kumari, excellent, all of you. Kasak Yadav, Pooja. All right. Everyone clear about section 380? Now let's read down other points of section 380 are any document which any foreign company is required to deliver to the ROC shall be given only to the New Delhi ROC. So the first point was within 30 days you have to file. Second point is 7 documents you have to file. Third point is whenever you open up an office. Now you will say, ma'am, we have opened up the office in Pune. There are more than 25 ROC in India. With which ROC you need to file in case of a foreign company? Whenever you're a foreign company, you always have to file your documents with the New Delhi ROC. Please write it down in your notes. Whenever you open up, whenever you're a foreign company, you always have to file your documents with the New Delhi ROC. So first of all, you have to file your documents with New Delhi. If any foreign company ceases to have a place in business, then it has to give a notice to ROC that from this date, the obligation of the company will be to deliver to the registrar that we now no longer has this place of business in India. So you were having a place of business in Pune, you were having business in Mumbai, you were doing business in Bangalore, Guwahati, Assam, Gujarat, but now you don't have place of business in Pune and Mumbai. So you have to immediately update ROC, give them the FC3 list that these are the place of business which we were earlier having. Now we don't have these kind of place of business. So over here, which is mentioned, the closing and opening of place of business always has to be informed to the ROC. You have to give them the updated list every time. What is your place of business in India? Because ROC needs to know, na, you are operating where all you're operating. You're a company of Russia. You're a foreign company in India. So for applying Companies Act 2013, we need to know that where are you having your place of business in India. And the last point is any alteration in the documents to be delivered within 30 days of such alteration. So alteration means, say, for example, earlier you had Mr. A, B, and C as the directors of your company. Now you have only Mr. A and B as directors. So C is no longer a director. So you have filed these documents with ROC saying that A, B, and C are directors. Now your directors have changed, right? Now you only have Mr. A and B. So there is alteration, there is change in the document. So within 30 days, you go and file this change. You don't have to follow that detailed procedure of the incorporation of company chapter. You simply get 30 days and update them of the operation. Say, for example, your registered office was in Pune. You have opened up the principal. Now you don't have office in Pune. Now you have opened up the place of business in Bombay. So there is alteration. You have informed them about the Pune address. Now you have changed, or within Pune only you have changed the address. You have not closed the place of business. You are changing the address. So any change in the director, write down over here. Alteration means any change in the directors, secretaries, their name or address is being changed, or address of the company in India is being changed. Any change in the address of registered office. All these alterations need to be filed with ROC in form FC2 within 30 days of the alteration. All these alterations need to be filed with ROC in form FC2 within 30 days of the alteration. Yes, Rashmi, ROC is always in Delhi. So you always have to file your documents with the New Delhi ROC. ROC is not changing. Your address is changing. That's why you're giving the alteration certification. So every foreign company within 30 days will tell them about all these documents. So what I wanted to show you over here is what is the list of directors and secretaries that you have to give. Now, this is also an important list. There are 14 items that you need to remember. What all details about the directors and secretaries that you need to give them. So the list of director and secretary by whatever name called shall contain the following particulars. First of all, personal name and surname. Very basic details. The father's name or former name, mother's name, date of birth, residential address, nationality. Why do you think nationality is important? It's a foreign company, na? You might have a director who is a US citizen or a Russian or American or Indian. So any director can be there. So you have to tell them what is the nationality, what is their name, what is their mother's name, father's name, date of birth. Any one of them has to be given, not all. If the present nationality is not the nationality of origin, then if they have changed their nationality, then please tell that also. Passport number, date of issue, and country of issue. If a person holds more than one passport, then give the details of all passports because foreign company is involved. Okay, resident one compulsory. Yes, it is important. One person has to be an Indian resident. That's why, Hardik, we have made him the authorized representative because these people might be coming and going. That's why we have appointed one authorized representative who is going to receive all the notices and documents in India. So passport numbers also, if you have more than one passport, then all the details have to be given. Income tax PAN number if applicable. So PAN number might be applicable to you, might not be applicable depending upon the laws of your country. So if you have applicable, then you have to give that details. Occupation, if any, are you doing any other work also? You have to tell them. Whether directorship is any other Indian company, then DIN number, CIN number of that company in which you're holding directorship. So there is a company ABC which is formed in Russia. They are having a place of business in Pune. Mr. A is a director of their company. You're giving his name, address, everything. Now this Mr. A is also a director in another Indian company which is Tata Motors. So Mr. A is also being a directorship in Tata Motors. So you have to give the SIN number of Tata Motors and also the director identification number in this company. Any other directorships held. So this is the same point. Membership number for secretary only. For secretary, you have to give the membership number. Like for CAs, you have chartered accountant, you have membership number. For CS also, you have membership numbers. So for CAs, if you are a company secretary, then you have to give your membership number also. And email IDs also have to be given so that ROC has full details about all these people with whom they are dealing. But authorized representative only need to give his name, address of more than one person who's resident in India, and he will receive all the notices and documents. So if I say Mr. Ram is a US citizen, can he be my authorized representative? Did I say the word Indian citizen? Yes, he can be if he is a resident of India. So he has to be a resident of India. That is important. So yes, for resident of India is also important to be citizen of India. So that was very nice to confuse you, but everybody has answered it correctly. That if he is not resident of India, he's US resident, US citizen, then he cannot be appointed as my authorized representative. Okay, very good. He has to be an Indian citizen. All right. After that, all these points are clear. Procedure for application and submission of the documents. So all these documents have to be filed, number one point, within 30 days, and they have to be filed in form number FC1. Only 4 forms we have in this chapter, so we have to learn all these 4 forms. So I'm going to show you FC1 form in a while. Application shall also be supported. Now, this is very, very important point. So one, you're going to give the FC1 form. What is the FC1 form? All the above 7 documents that you have learned will be given in the FC1 form. List of 7 documents will be given in FC1 form. But along with that, you also have to give a declaration. What declaration? Or the approval. Along with FC1, you have to give a declaration or the approval. Approval from? Attested copy of approval from Reserve Bank of India under FEMA Act and also from other regulators if approval is required, or a declaration that no approval is required. Now, what happened, children, is that you are a company which is formed in Russia. You are opening up a company or place of business in my country, in India, your company. Don't you think you are doing a business money exchange? So Reserve Bank of India will be bothered. My inter-exchange of money, the dollars and the whatever currency you use in Russia. So, for example, you have formed a company in USA or a Singapore dollars are being coming to India, and my Indian rupees is going outside India. So RBI will be bothered about that. So you have to take the approval from RBI under FEMA Act. So Foreign Exchange Management is your another act which is part of your CA and syllabus. So FEMA regulations have to be followed very strictly. Yes, because you're using the exchange of currencies happening, Anil. That is absolutely correct. So RBI's approval has to be taken by this company or other regulators. What is the meaning of this word, other regulators? See, for example, you're opening up the company, which is an insurance company. So insurance company is governed by Insurance Regulator Development Authorities, IRD. So that regulatory also has to give them approval that yes, you can come up in India and we give you approval. So if you have such other regulators, approval is required, then you have to take their approvals and RBI approvals. But if you don't need any such kind of approvals, you are a company which do not require any exchange of foreign currency, you are not needing any FEMA requirements, you're not falling for the regulators requirement, then you have to give a declaration that such approvals are not mandatory for my company. Then you simply have to give them a declaration that from the authorities or the representative that no such approval is required. Then the authorities will give the declaration that no such approval is required. That's why we have not taken these approvals. Is that clear? This point is an important point. So what are the 3 points under section 380 that we have learned? Number 1, FC1, 7 documents to be filed. Number 2, within 30 days you have to file. Number 3, what you have learned, that approval from RBI and regulators have to be taken, and if no approval is required, then you have to file a declaration. Clear? Office where the documents to be delivered and the fees according to company's rule, documents are required to be delivered to the registrar. In which registrar you have to give the documents? To the Delhi ROC. So this can be an MCQ question. So let me ask you an MCQ question here also. So there is a company which is incorporated in Australia and opens an office in Mumbai. It has to file its document with Maharashtra ROC, Pune ROC, Punjab ROC, or Delhi ROC. Where has to file the documents? It is a company incorporated in Australia and it opens up an office in Delhi and Bombay. And if it opened up the office in Delhi instead of Bombay, then will there be any change? It opens the office in Delhi. Then also we have to file with Delhi ROC, children. Please tell me. Yes. No, Supriya says no. Why? Yes, always Delhi ROC. Yes, good. Then also Delhi ROC. Okay. Because we always file these points you can write down in your notes, children, because MCQs can come up on these kind of questions. So you always have to file your documents with Delhi ROC. If the foreign company cease to have a place of business in India, then you have to inform the ROC that now we are no longer having that particular place of business. Every foreign company existing at the commencement of this act, which has not delivered the documents specified in section 592, it shall continue to be delivering the documents. Now, this point is absolutely irrelevant. It says that if you were a foreign company when Companies Act was replaced 1956, then earlier it was specified in 592 section. Now we are having section 380. So please file your documents if you are existing at the commencement of the act. Okay, this is a mere information that you need to know. Okay, Supriya, that's good. No change. That's correct answer. So in both the cases, it was Delhi ROC. All of you have given the correct answer, children. Good. And what is the procedure for filing the alteration of the documents? Please tell me if there is any change in the documents given under section 380. What are the 2 points that we have learned? Number 1, within 30 days of the alteration, you have to file a document with ROC. And what is that form? Form number FC2 along with the fees. Very good, very good, very, very excellent. All of you are giving the correct answers. Now I give you 2 minutes. Please read down this illustration 1 and nobody is going to cheat and answer. There is a company, Search and Find PT Limited. It is formed in Singapore. It is not having any business place in India, but it is doing e-commerce platforms. Does it need to file the documents under section 380? Why do you say yes? Why do you say that yes, it has to file the documents? You all have said yes, that's great. Yes, ma'am, because it is conducting the business activity. Absolutely correct. Mahi, Lahari, Marju, Hardik, Abhishek, Mishra, Anil, Kasab, all of you, Rashmi, very good. Correct answers given by all of you. Absolutely correct, because it's a foreign company. Pallavi, Rashmi, Preeti Kumari, good. Supriya, Dilip, excellent answers. It is a foreign company. Any say yes, as per section 2, clause 42, you have to give the definition. Place of business in India, electronic mode, conducting business activity. Therefore, it is conducting business through e-mode. It will be considered as foreign company. Yes, it has to file the documents. Okay, now my second question is very, very important for all of you. If it is a 3 marks question, will you write the documents also that need to be submitted? All the 7 documents. Do we need to name them? Somebody saying yes, somebody saying no. So that is my area of concern. That is where CA inter students lose marks. So Anil Army, you're saying that we need to give elaborated answer. I have always been repeating you in CA, you always have to write to the point whatever is required. Yes, form number FC1 Nandagoil, that's fine. But my question to all of you is, Do you have to tell? What is the examiner asking you? What is the question asking? He's saying, is the company required to submit the documents under Section 380? Somebody like me will jump from the chair and say, I know Section 380, I will write the documents. He's not asking you this. He's asking you definition of Section 2, Clause 42. My dear children, if it is a 3 marks question, you only have to elaborate on the definition and tell them that yes, he is required to give the documents under Section 380, but you will remember only if you remember what is Section 380. So foreign company sections are important to be learned. Then only you will be able to memorize what is required. Many a time this thing happens, children. You're wondering what was written in that section. So please play very peacefully with your brain. You have to learn the sections. It is very important. Chapters like these, you have to learn the sections. Had it been 7 marks question, yes, it is asking some more information. Please write the name of the 7 documents also, because just definition will never come for 7. Is it clear, students? Have you understood what I'm trying to tell you? Okay, okay. Good, good, good. Okay. Now, accounts of foreign company. What is the meaning of accounts? What do you think is they are going to tell you over here? They're simply going to tell you that, look, you have studied chapter 9 with Harleen ma'am, accounts of companies. Quietly apply this chapter to section 381. That's it. So you have already done chapter 9 and chapter 10. They're simply going to tell you that all the chapter of accounts of companies is applicable mutatis mutandis to all this foreign companies as well. Okay. Audit and auditors and rules made shall apply mutatis mutandis to foreign companies, chapter 10. And similarly, they have written the provisions of chapter 9 also somewhere. But there are certain important things which we have to do for the accounts of foreign companies. So let us quickly read it, and remind me before we leave the class at the end that I have to show you FC1 and FC2 also. Do you want to see the forms first, or shall we proceed to section 381? Yes, books of accounts, you have started answering also. Balance sheet and profit and loss account, very good. So every foreign company shall make out a balance sheet and profit and loss account, again the same documents, and deliver a copy of these documents to ROC. Now, what is important over here is what is the timing for submitting of these documents with the ROC. Every foreign company will prepare it as per the Indian operations according to Schedule 3. Now, this is important. How do you have to prepare your documents? Again, documents to be annexed shall be according to Chapter 9 provisions. Whatever we have done. Yes, Hardik, that's absolutely correct with some changes, but mutatis mutandis basically means that whole of the things that is applicable to you as well. In the same way, it actually in English means mutatis mutandis means in the same way it is applicable. Documents that are required to be next should be attached according to Chapter 9 accounts of companies, and document relating to consolidated CFS. You remember CFS? What was CFS? Consolidated financial statements. Now you have foreign company accounts and you're preparing the accounts for Indian companies. Consolidation will take place. So you have to apply the same consolidation here also. Financial year. What was the financial year? Can anyone tell me the definition of financial year? What is the definition of financial year as per the chapter 1 that you have done preliminary? What is the definition of financial year, children? April to March, you're answering. Wasn't there anything interesting that is given over there? That if your year starts company setups after 1st Jan, then companies, and you have to give this definition. You cannot simply write April to March. What are you doing, children? Yes, you have to remember, you have to line this as a part of definition. Financial year means any company period ending 31st March, but if the company is incorporated on or after 1st day of April, then it will be period ending 31st day of March of the following year. Do you remember now, children? If company is formed after 1st January, then you have to write this line also. Yes, you know that, but you're not writing it. Yes, Hardik, it was absolutely correct. Kasik has also given the correct. All of you have now given the correct definition. So good. You have written it correctly. All of you, Abhishek Mishra, Nanda Goyal, all of you have written correctly, but you have to tell them, bacha. Yes, Lahari Morutu, absolutely correct. So that is the only point which was written over here, that then you follow the subsequent year of the 31st March. But if it is a holding and subsidiary company, then what do we have learned? That if you're a company incorporated outside India and you have any holding and subsidiary in India, then for consolidation purposes, you can file a document with the central government. You can take the permission from the central government to follow any other financial year. Because now, if you're a company which is formed in USA, they are following 1st Jan to 31st December. So you are following April to 31st March. So you have to do consolidation of the accounts. So you will make an application to central government that for having uniformity of the accounts for the our company which is formed outside India, we need to have this financial year as the period for the permission has to be taken for that particular financial year period. So then the application before the tribunal, if it is application, this such kind of application is lying pending before the tribunal, it has to be disposed of, means tribunal has to give its final answer. Accordingly, that will become your applicability for that particular companies. So foreign company having its place of business in India may not follow same financial year every year because it has given the request from the central government and tribunals at times. Understood? So they take the approval. Okay, this is the exception for financial year. Absolutely correct. Which starts from 1st April and end with the company incorporated. Yes, yes, Pooja, Dambeshwari, Nanda Goyal, everybody has now given the correct answer. Means period ending. Yes, Sabash, Shakil, absolutely correct. Vaishnavi Devi. Yes, you have given absolutely correct answer, beta. It's good. Period of 12 months which has to be used, but for the financial year which is running from April to 31st March, but the only difference is if your company is formed after 1st January, then you have to follow differently. Now, have you understood this point of making an application to the tribunal and central government? For the request is made if you need to follow a different financial year. So example number 5 says ROK Limited is a company which was formed outside India and it has a place of business in India. It is a subsidiary. ROK is a subsidiary of HOK, which is registered in Australia. So, which is a foreign company? Can you tell me out of this? ROK is a foreign company or HOK is a foreign company? ROK is a company incorporated outside India. It is having a place of business in India. So, it is a foreign company. HOK is registered outside in Australia only and is required to consolidate. So, holding company is the HOK. Very good. All of you have given the correct answer. So now consolidation of accounts has to be done. HOK is required to follow the financial year other than 31st March. They will make the application to the central government so that they can allow them to follow the holding companies financially. All right. Yes, it is CFS point. Very good. Now, central government, in case of foreign company, the requirement of clause A shall not apply for the exception. So it can give exceptions to certain companies. That is not very important. Very important point. If any document is not in English language, then you need to have a certified translation in the English language has to be annexed, means it has to be attached to it. Every foreign company will then send to the registrar along with the documents a list of all the place of business in India. So here they are mentioning about FC3 form. I have already told you children that every foreign company has to tell the registrar in FC3 form that these are my principal place of business in India. If you have closed any place of business, whatever is on the date of balance sheet, you have to give them all the list of place of business. So that ROC is well aware that where all you're doing the business in India. If any foreign company ceases to have place, then you again have to tell them. So children, my question to all of you is, if your place of business has been changed and you have filed documents with the registrar already, in which form you have to tell them about this kind of alteration where the place of business is changing? It is FC3 specifically for place of business, children. All of you have quickly answered FC2 because you heard the word alteration. That is specifically for any alteration in the registered office, principal place of office, and your name or changes in the directors and secretary of the company. But it says company's rules. If any foreign company ceases to have any place of business, it will give the notice, and from the date of notice, the obligation to deliver the document that it does not have any other place of business. So every company, along with the financial statements, have to give FC3 a list of all the place of business. But for any alterations, if it is happening other than place of business, you have to tell them in FC2. All right. Every foreign company, now this is very important. 3 more important documents you have to file with the ROC. So chapter 9 is as it is applicable. Consolidated financial statements, you have to file them. You have to give them these statements in English also. Along with that, three important documents have to be given. Number one is statement of related party transactions. Whatever is the transactions which is done. Yes, it is for the alterations, Lahari Maruju. Absolutely correct. All right. So statement of related party transactions, whatever related party transactions you have with other parties, that statement has to be made. Then there is a statement of repatriation of profits and statement of transfer of funds. Now, what is the meaning of repatriation and remittance of funds? So whatever you have, you were a company in USA, you opened up a company in India and Pune. So you have done business in India. Now you want to take out your profits, you want to remit outside India. So that is repatriation of profits. Whatever profits you have earned in India, now you're taking it back to your home country, US, that statement has to be given to ROC. But instead of taking the profits outside India, you want to distribute it as dividends among the shareholders. Then that is transfer of funds. So where do the profits that you're taking home? So you can write down repatriation means whatever money you have earned in India, you're taking it to your company outside India. That is repatriation. And transfer means instead of taking the money outside India, you're distributing the profits to the shareholders. So whatever profits you have repatriated means you're taking outside India, whatever money is earned, that statement has to be given. And the statement of transfer of funds means whatever dividends you are distributing. We'll not do much of the difference between repatriation and remittance because when we do FEMA chapter, there you will understand in detail about the repatriation and remittance. As of now, you have to remember what are the three documents which has to be given along with the balance sheet and P&L, what has to be filed? Related party transactions, repatriation of profits, and statement of transfer of funds. All right. All these documents within how long? What is the time period for which it has to be submitted? 30 days, 40 days, or what? All these documents have to be submitted within a period of 6 months from the close of the financial year. So what is the important points that you have to remember under section 381? Number one, schedule 3 has to be followed. The financial statements and profit and loss will be prepared as per the schedule 3. Number 2, FC3 form that you have to remember the place of business. Number 4, number 3, you have to remember that whatever place of chapter 9 provisions, they are applicable to them. Number 4, we have done detailed discussion about your financial year. Consolidated financial statements might have a different financial year. And number 5, all these three documents, related party transactions, repatriation of profits, and transfer of funds, statement needs to be filed with ROC. And number 6, within 6 months from the close of the financial year, this document can be filed. Can ROC extend this time period? Yes, with Delhi ROC. Absolutely correct. Very good. Very good, Anil Army. You have made a nice note. Schedule 3, FC3, Chapter 9, Financial Year, Profits. So instead of profits, you can write down related party, repatriation of profits, and transfer of funds. Very good. I really feel happy when you students, when you respond back in the chat box, it means that you're really paying good attention. And that means you're enjoying the class, right? Okay, yes, dividend means the dividend to pay to all the shareholders, Hardik. It will include to all of them. Means you've distributed the profits. Okay. All right. And can we give the extension? Thank you, Lahari Moruju. She has written, yes, ma'am, we are enjoying the class. So that's great. So can we get the extension for the 6 months time period? Yes, ma'am, we can get the extension, but not beyond 3 months. So what is the extension that can be given is for 3 months, you can get the extension for the time period also. So there is a company, after example 6, we'll take a small break. So there is a company, Mukesh and Jordan LLC is a foreign company and it is required to file the financial statement within 6 months of the close of financial year. So it says within how much time period? Within 6 months. Can we give them the extension? Yes, along with the financial statements, you have to file these 3 documents. Where the central government has exempted them, then the documents shall be submitted. So you can read this line. It is simply trying to tell you that what is the time period when you have to file within 6 months of the close of the financial year. When does the financial year closes? 31st March for all the years. But if you have central government has applied, exempted them to follow a different, then you will count the 6 months from that period. And if application is made in writing, then registrar can give them the extension of 3 months. Very good. Very good. All right. Everyone is clear till section 380 and 381. Sabah Shakil is asking example 6 once again. Okay, example 6 is simply trying to tell you that if you are a foreign company, then you need to file your financial statements with the ROC by what time? Then you need to file your financial statements with ROC within 6 months from the close of financial year. And along with the financial statement, you have to file three things more. That is repatriation of profits, related party transactions, and transfer of funds. Yes, Nanda Goel, repatriation means you're taking your profits outside India, means to your same company where you are formed in that country. All right. So let's take small 10 minutes break over here. Go through the chapter section 370. Read the definition once again because now we're going to do number of questions. Yes, the Maheshwari registrar and foreign companies always New Delhi ROC. You will not go to any other ROC. And I hope you all are learning and enjoying the class. Quickly tell me, are you understanding everything? Can you explain example number 5? Ritika Gupta is asking example number 5. Okay, before going to the break, I will explain you example number 5. What happened in example number 5? It was very simple. So example number 5, Ritika, it is simply telling you that there are two companies. One is a holding, another is subsidiary. So ROK is a company which is incorporated outside India and has a place of business in India. So if you're a company having a place outside India and having incorporated outside India and you have a place of business in India, then you become a foreign company. Fair enough. So ROK is a foreign company which is subsidiary of Australian company. So now a holding company is following a different financial year. So you want to make your subsidiary also follow that same financial year, then you have to make an application to the central government so that they can give you the permission to follow that respective financial year. Okay? Clear? Thank you, Pallavi Jha. I'm glad that you're enjoying the class. That's everything is very interesting. So Priya says, ma'am, you make law interesting and easy to understand with examples. So that was the perfect thing to say because that is the purpose so that you understand it nicely. Specifically giving dividend to foreign shareholders will means repatriation, ma'am. So Hardik, difference, you don't have to go into much detail. Simply understand, I have earned 1 crore profits from the place of business in India. I'm taking it home, so it is repatriation. I don't want to take it. I transfer the funds in the way of the dividend, then it is fine. So that is the clarity between both these points, but don't go into much detail because remittance and repatriation again has huge difference when we talk in the FEMA. Naveen Krishna is saying, what is mutatis mutandis? Mutatis mutandis means that everything that was applicable, like chapter 9, whatever is applicable to the companies over there, it applies in exactly the same way. So mutatis mutandis का simple meaning होता है in the same way. Means वही सब चीजें इनको भी applicable है. Sambheshwari is also finding the chapter interesting. That's great. So I hope, Ritika, your doubt is clear now. I'm just finding if there is a New Delhi ROC because it is a Lahari Maruju because it is written under law. That's why. Tasak is saying if a foreign company, Indian company have less than 50%, then the company will not follow Schedule 3 or all the foreign companies will. So there is no applicability of shareholding when you're following Schedule 3, Kasak Yadav. All the companies, foreign companies will have to prepare the financial statements as per Schedule 3. What is the 3 months extension? The Meshwari, that is if you think that you have not filed the financial statement within 6 months, you want to take extension, so you can take the extension, but not more than 3 months. You cannot get the extensions beyond 3 months. All right. So let's take a small break and then we'll continue with a few more questions. All right, students, welcome back. I hope you have read till what we have done. Section 379, 380, 381, we have already completed. Now I had to, and 381 also we have done. So any doubts still here, because I wanted to show you certain forms now. Page 11.10, point A is not applying. Sambeshwari is asking certain question related to 11.10. I think Hardik, you also had a query. You can write down your query again. Yes, Tambeshwari, page number 11.10, second point, which point A is not. Tambeshwari, that second point says that central government has the power to direct in case the foreign company requirements of clause A above shall not apply. So it says there's certain companies, clause A, what is written in clause A? That is for the different financial year. So if it is not applicable, central government can also exempt certain companies to apply the same. Okay, then that is the respective clause 8 is talking about, where you have to follow a different financial year. Okay, Mahi is asking, ma'am, for revision, do we have to read whole of the chapter again, or only we can do the question, answer, and saransh? So, Mahi, it is a very important question. So, my humble request to each one of you is, you have to go through the syllabus at least thrice. So, thrice means at least 3 times you should have seen the syllabus. Otherwise, it will become very, very difficult for you to learn it and remember it. So how does it happen 3 times? Once when the teacher is explaining you. Second, you will revise it and learn it. And third is your final revision. So before the exam, even if you're referring to Saransh, you have to learn the syllabus at least 3 times. You should have seen it. For the exams, you have to flip the pages for all of the syllabus. Reference, quick reference, Saransh and question answers is absolutely correct, but you have to give a quick reference to all the pages. Cost page 10.54. Okay. Okay, Hardik, I'm just taking it out that the place that you have asked me. Ten 10.54. Yes, child, tell me now, where is your doubt? Ten 10.54, yes, child, where are you asking the doubt is in which point over here? I've taken out the capitative plant. Cease to take place in India, Tambeshwari is asking. It means when you don't have any such place of business in India. Cease to place in India means now you're not having that particular. So you opened up the office in Pune. Now you don't have the place in Pune. You have opened up in Bombay or any other place. FC3 has to be filled. Contravention and punishments, are you asking where is that capitative point? It is just mentioning about the particular plant. I think that is what you're very confused. Hardik, you want to speak up? Subsection 2 to subsection 7. Central government is of the opinion the information and explanation. See, child, in cost audit, you simply have to remember that central government will tell what are the cost records. First of all, we need to know that. Only for the certain companies which are having cost records, the cost audit report is required to be followed. So 30 days, after 30 days, once you have prepared the audit report, you have to file it with the central government. All the information and explanation has to be given. So these are the subsections that they have given the reference to. You don't have to learn these subsections, but simply 30 days information and CG's information and cost records. That is only required. You don't have to go into much of the details of the cost audit. Whatever we have done under section 148 in yesterday's class, that is sufficient for the examination point of view. And section 148's penalty is also important. It is same as it is given in section 147. All right. So okay. LLP in which not included in case of cost auditor. So Tameshwari, we are not talking about chartered accountants. We are always talking about the cost accountant. So whenever we talk about cost audit, who has to do? A cost accountant has to do the cost audit. Okay, so we are not talking about the body corporates and LLPs over here. Any other doubts in audits if you're having children? Because then I need to show you certain forms. If you don't have any doubts, we are going to see the forms now. FC1 form, first I'm going to show you. So what is FC1 form used for? Can anyone tell me? So this is your FC1 form, absolutely correct. Under section 380, whatever the documents are required to be filed with ROC, application and submission, absolutely correct, children. So this is your FC1 form. Intimation to the central government, foreign contributions have to be given. Part A, details of all this. See, all the information that you have to file. Why do I think I've opened FC11? Okay. This details of the nationality, country of resident. This was for whom? For all the directors and secretary, you have to give all these details to be filled in by the applicant. PAN number, registration number, purpose for which you have received the details, everything has to be given. All right. So it is basically FC1 form is used for filing the documents with the ROC. What is form number FC2 used for? What is the form number FC2 used for? For any alterations made in filing the documents with the ROC. This is your FC2 form, how it looks like. Information kit for ROC for FC2, return of the alteration in the documents filed. So you already filed the documents, and in that documents you need any alteration, then section 380 subsection 3 is applicable. You can read it out if you want. I can enlarge it a bit so that you can clearly see the form. So it says that again your FCRN number, pre-fill button gives you the details about automatically filling the principal place of business, date of the alteration, any meetings dates have changed, types of returns have changed, all these alteration happening. See this kind of alteration in the place of business in India, if you're altering or you're altering any place of, but if you're closing the place of business and changing the list of place of business has to be specifically given for FC3. But if you're altering, then you have to follow FC2. Company's authorized representative. Who was the authorized representative in our example? Mr. Ram, whom we are going to serve all these notices. If that person has changed, then also you need to file FC2 form, not FC3. I'm going to show you form FC3 also. You want to see FC3 form also? Have a look. So FC3 form is specifically for your change in the place of business. So again, it has to be filled in the similar ways. Instruction manual is given. Annual accounts along with the list of place of business. So when we learn about section 381 financial statements that we have to file, along with that we have to file FC3 form. Okay, it is to be filed under section 381. The rules are applicable. Every company will make the balance sheet, deliver the documents. What else needs to be filed? Along with FC3, there are 3 more statements. Can anyone tell me what are the 3 more statements that we need to file with the ROC? Along with the financial statements. Related party transactions, repatriation of profits, and transfer of funds. Absolutely correct. And within how long time we have to file these financial statements? Kritika Gupta, that was another one answer. I'm going to ask that question also. You have given an incorrect answer for this one. 6 months. And extension, if we request to the central government or ROC, we can get for extension for how much? 3 months. Okay, now my second question is, which Ritika Gupta has already answered it incorrectly, and now is the correct answer for that. With FC1 form, what else needs to be filed? When you're filing those 7 documents, I said you will file the FC1 form. plus approval is required. What approval is required? Whose approval is required? Yes, absolutely correct. Approval of RBI and the regulatories. Very good, children. Very good. I praise you that you have retained the information in your minds and you're learning it, you're responding it. That excellent. So we have seen the forms also, FC1, 2, and 3 forms. Since you have apparently seen them also, you will remember them now. Last FC4 form we will see in the next class, that is annual return. So once again, a very happy new year to all of you. Wishing you lots and lots of success in this coming 2025. And I hope you will revise it. I hope you will learn everything. Thank you so much, children. You all have been a wonderful audience. Barna Mandal, thank you so much. Kasak, Mahi, all of you. And I look forward to see you on 6th of January now, the last class for foreign companies. So please complete the chapter till where we have done, and then we will be doing examination questions also that day. If holding is 50% and place of business in India deeming provision, yes, absolutely correct, Hardik. Both the provisions have to be seen. And also, if it is a foreign company, then only it will be applicable. Thank you, Tambeshwari. I'm glad you have understood everything. That's very nice. Thank you, children. All right. So, see you on 6th of January. All the best. Good. Hardik has written. Yes, sir. It's okay.